Crypto falling as we start the week. So I want to start this video by doing something really quickly on this Bitcoin weekly chart. This is zoomed out on the weekly. You can see all these Bitcoin halvings, all the stuff that's going on. Let's just do something. Let's just clean it up and let's just look. I want to, in this video, break down what's going on here on this little consolidation that's happening right now and how it plays into the Bitcoin and the crypto cycles. And I'm going to zoom in on the Bitcoin daily charts, which are very messy, but we have some targets to talk about as we consolidate. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. So I just posted this just a little bit ago. I said, maybe there's something wrong with me, but when I zoom out on a Bitcoin chart, I see the bull cycle just getting started. And you can just see I took this fractal from 2 bull markets ago because there's just such a reminiscence of, if we go to the Bitcoin weekly chart, what's happening kind of back here to what's happening right here. And that's what I want to start the video discussing, and then we'll pivot to the daily and talk about some targets. So on the weekly, first thing, the triple top kind of look, right? This top here. So here's a double top, here's a triple top that people are talking about. I want to just mention, this is in my view not a triple top, or it's as much of a triple top this cycle as back here, this move was a double top, right? So, and I've talked about this before. Here's the top of 2013 bull market, and then we fall into the bear market, and we come out of the bear market, and then boom, we're hitting that general resistance zone from the previous bull market high. Bitcoin falls to the 20-week moving average. It's looking really ugly. But in that moment of dipping, you can see there's 3 weeks of red. That was actually the precursor to something really bullish about to happen. So in the same way, I think we're in a very similar environment. Little different consolidation. I mean, this is truly like the first time we've seen such a consolidation like this right around the Bitcoin halving. And I think that's ultra bullish. Anytime we have a new data point, when we're trying to explore some type of new cycle, I like to see new types of consolidation. But in a similar fashion, we're in the same exact type of previous bull market high zone. We're testing it. And am I thinking it's a triple top? I'm just not. Even if Bitcoin's just going to fall and consolidate more for a while, I just think something different is going on this cycle around as Bitcoin halving kind of just kicks off, right? Bitcoin halving just happened. So the other thing that I wanted to discuss was Bitcoin has always done something post Bitcoin halving that it has not even done yet. And this is, I think, a really, really big data point. So if we open up the RSI, you can check this out. You'll notice, like, all right, man, Bitcoin actually came out of overbought. It was kind of exiting the bear market, hit overbought, very similar to back here as it was approaching the bull market high, and then starting to put in some bearish divergence. Man, there's such a similarity. But what I really want to point out to you is 2 things. Number one, again, 2 cycles ago, post 2016 Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin prior to the halving hit overbought, and then during that Bitcoin bull market just continually hit overbought and consolidated. That is so in play for us now. It doesn't have to be a bull market where it's just like one overbought, end of bull market, right? So one overbought, end of bull market. No, this could be overbought, consolidate, huge dips, a lot of consolidation, a lot of unknown. But here's the thing, and this I think even makes that even more just compelling of an argument. This overbought that we're looking at on this Bitcoin chart, this was before the Bitcoin halving. So we're in this cycle so far. And this is why I also think I could be wrong. Maybe it's going to be a triple top and Bitcoin's going all the way back to like $15,000. I don't think that's the case. But there are people that are thinking that it's over. I'm thinking it's just beginning. This is Bitcoin halving right around here. Bitcoin has not even made the move into overbought. Every cycle so far, here's Bitcoin halving last cycle, Bitcoin going into overbought finally. Here's the move 2 cycles ago, Bitcoin going into overbought multiple times, right? Here's the Bitcoin halving 2012, Bitcoin going into overbought. We hit Bitcoin halving 2024. Bitcoin has not even had that move yet. So that, in my view, is still something we're waiting for. And what that looks like, I think, is going to be just a parabolic move. And that's why, I posted this a little bit ago. I was just like, man, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I need to get my head checked. But I just think we're at the beginning of something big. And there's going to be consolidation along the way. And then we have a messy daily chart. This is where I think a lot of people can get distracted, even myself, when we get red candles, consolidations. But even if you zoom out on the daily chart, and it's just like, oh, this doesn't even look that bad, even if Bitcoin's going to keep falling. Things look kind of normal right now, and this is the way it is. Have to zoom out on all of these charts, I think, to get clear perspective. But let's just talk about some technicals. What bothers me about this chart is every time I open it up, all I see is just like this inverse head and shoulders vibe, and this is subconsciously, continuously something that just makes me bullish for this breakout to the upside, this inverse head and shoulders vibe. The bears, even at this moment, they just look like they're losing on the macro chart, right? So I have to put that aside, though, especially for this video, because I want to talk about more consolidation to the downside, what it might look like. We know targets to the upside, no matter what inverse head and shoulders you kind of chart. It could be the one I just speculatively charted. It could be this one we've been talking about with the upward sloping neckline. You can see right shoulder becoming kind of ugly, right? Drawn out. We didn't get this like really nice move to the upside to the neckline right here. There's that neckline. Here's the left shoulder, head, right shoulder breakout, $90,000 target. That looks nice. Right shoulder looking a little iffy as of right now. But what I want to discuss is whether or not we break this region of resistance and just start exploring price discovery, right? That's up for debate. That's in play. It's to be prepared for. But consolidation as we have it, let's talk about targets. One thing I wanted to point out was if you actually zoom out, I want to show you something. On the daily chart, this circle back here, you can notice a little bit of a similar move on the momentum oscillator from this swing low, right? Higher highs, higher lows right here. And then Bitcoin just kind of broke that pattern and put in a really nice dip, right? And by the way, this was kind of in this environment where Bitcoin was sideways. But I want to point out that dip that it took. If we zoom in on this circle, because I know I'm way zoomed out. This is Bitcoin after Bitcoin 20-day moving average crossed above the 50. Bitcoin just falling right back to the 50. So it broke through the 20 right there, that green line, tested the 50, and then it was game on. Not saying this is going to happen again, but the charts are very similar. And if we look at this, you can just see what Bitcoin did. Similar on the RSI momentum oscillator we just looked at. But Bitcoin right now on this daily chart just put the 20-day crossing above the 50. Bitcoin's falling below the 20. Right now, the question is, my first question, this isn't me saying it's going to happen. I'm watching for support. Can Bitcoin see support at the 50-day moving average around 65,900, around 66,000? That's like $1,000 below where Bitcoin is right now. It's not a huge amount of space for support. But if Bitcoin sees some type of support, maybe we fall below it, the daily candle closes above it, and then we start putting in green candles, that could be a really good sign. What if that doesn't happen though, and Bitcoin even goes lower than the 50-day moving average? Here's just some areas that I'm watching for. If you zoom out on the daily chart, we kind of obviously have this this upper trend line, lower highs. And then from this area of movement, explosive move away, we have this lower trend line information. So we had a second swing low from this point, right? So we have this lower trend line in play. Not surprisingly, if we take our Fibonacci from the last swing low to swing high, our Fibonacci, which is a higher low Fibonacci, so swing low, and then we have a higher low range. That's that green range I look for, the 618 to 786. Not surprisingly, is confluent with that lower trend line, right? So we could have a massive symmetrical triangle being put into formation right now. So Bitcoin could kind of fall into that general area, which is in the $61,000, $62,000 area, if it's going to continue to consolidate. And at that moment, there's a really strong case that could be the end of the consolidation. This could be something that happens very quickly. This could be something that maybe we get support here at the 50, bounce up a little, and then we're trickling down. This could be something that just takes weeks to get there. But either way, if this becomes in play, we have a symmetrical triangle with a target now to the $100,000 area. And then I have to say this because I can't just give you bullish targets. Bullish or bearish target to the downside is like the lower 40s. And that is in play. And I just want to say, number one, it's something that I'm prepared for. But number two, if you go, kind of how we started the video, if you just go and you look at Bitcoin on the zoomed out, even if that were to happen, and Bitcoin on the weekly chart is just falling, I don't see the case for this to happen. Just look at the area of moving averages, the 50, the 200, a massive higher low for Bitcoin in this continued potential super cycle. That would be an environment where Bitcoin is insanely oversold. And with all of the demand that is flooding into the markets right now, and with the setup from just maybe a pivot of lower interest rates incoming, I'm not sure that's going to happen. But on the daily chart, you can see the consolidation that I'm sitting here waiting for, and that's just kind of what I'm tracking. So couple points. 50-day moving average, will there be support? Very close to where Bitcoin is right now. Notice the apex of this massive rising wedge that we've been tracking. Target still not hit for that rising wedge, by the way. Target is around $80,000. So we broke out of the rising wedge right here, February. We revisited it. We're kind of revisiting again. Target 80,000. Does that hold? And then do we get the higher low move, continue downside to the lower 60s for Bitcoin? That would be an area target where there should be a lot of support, but only time will tell, and we'll monitor that if we get there. So this is what I'm watching on Bitcoin right now, and crypto markets just doing their thing, even in a bull market. What is happening right now across altcoins with Bitcoin, I think is 100% normal. I think this is just getting started. And if you go to the total market cap chart, I think that is a good chart to also demonstrate where we are in the cycle. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate all of you watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.